Hello, welcome back, friends. We are diving into the topic of symptom checking today. If you are still engaging in anxious behaviours that are fueling more elements of your anxiety, or you're not sure if you're one of those people and you'd like to find out more, then you can watch today's video. Today, I'll delve into these anxious behaviours, bring them out into the open so that we can work on changing them. Real quick, if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. Also, remember to hit the bell for all notifications. So, as I mentioned, I'm going to go into a few anxious behaviours that can keep you in a state of deep sensitivity. Now, when I talk about deep sensitivity, I mean a mind and a body that will constantly pay attention to every little thing that you see, that you hear, that you feel, taste, and smell. If it detects any sort of threat, it sends a message to the body, which then starts experiencing various sensations and symptoms that just don't seem to go away. The first one I want to go into is getting lost in a cycle of worrying about the cause of your anxiety symptoms. I'm wondering if you can relate to this. Leave a comment down below. You might start thinking, oh, but someone I know had these same symptoms. I read something online and now they're experiencing this disease or illness, and maybe that could be the same for me. I need to figure this out if this is actually the cause of it. And so you keep going back and forth between these different outcomes. Now, what's crucial for you to understand is that true anxiety recovery cannot happen until you have a firm, and I mean a really firm, belief of where these anxiety elements are coming from. When you're firm, when you can look at your fear differently, you can start to examine those sensations, whatever symptoms they may be, from a new perspective. You are far less likely to doubt and compare the origin or the cause of this to some other disastrous worst case scenario that you've seen. If you know that no matter what the symptom, it is my anxiety and not something else, recovery from your anxiety becomes a lot easier and a lot quicker. So let's dive into number 2, anxiety behaviours that arrive because you are scared of making a mistake. So let me use an example. Maybe you worry about saying something wrong to someone that you don't know very well, and this fear maybe stems from a constant subconscious belief about needing to be perfect, needing to be seen a certain way by all people. And when you're in your comfort zone at home, you might feel fine and feel ready to take on the day and overcome your anxiety with minimal worry about symptoms or sensations. But as soon as you go out, maybe to a cafe, suddenly you start feeling self-conscious because you think that maybe the waiter or the barista is looking at you funny for taking too long to order. So you try and be perfect in your words because you want to be accepted or be seen as normal by someone that you don't know very well. And that fear of rejection intensifies the anxiety in that moment. And that fear of rejection keeps you in a state of fear. It keeps you in a state of rigidity, tension, and it makes us focus on what could go wrong instead of what could go right. So to overcome this, we need to loosen up around people. Whether we know them or whether we not, we should approach our interactions with a relaxed, carefree attitude. And in the beginning, this may feel not natural at all and really weird and clunky because you're not used to practicing that as much. And that's right. It takes practice for it to become your natural new way of approaching people. So feel free to use some characters from books or movies or celebrities or someone that you admire for inspiration to help inspire you or motivate, move and change your behaviour so that you can loosen up around people. Next thing I'm going to dive into, which is a really big one I see in my practice a lot, is thinking that your symptoms have to disappear before you can live a peaceful and enjoyable life. I experienced this for many years myself, not allowing myself to be present or engage in conversations because I still had some minor anxiety symptoms that would get my attention sometimes. The majority of your focus is on your anxiety if you're doing that, no matter what you're doing. So it's important to avoid labeling yourself and instead allow yourself to feel and express your truth and our feelings. Don't fight your emotions, don't fight the sensations or the symptoms or the thoughts that come from a place of fear or wanting to be accepted, worried about being rejected. Try and just focus on the experience right in front of you and understand that living a peaceful and free life is happening simultaneously, even if you still have the odd symptom now and again. Don't let yourself get stuck in that place. And the last one I want to dive into that I see almost all of the time every week in my practice for people who are along their journey of recovery is switching approaches or habits far too early in your recovery process. I often see this in anxious people that think that if the current thing that they're doing isn't working within a certain amount of days, they'll abandon that and go back to Google and try something else, whether it's a different type of therapy or a new supplement or anything else along those lines. Consciously or unconsciously, we might be saying, I'll try this program, that technique, that mindset, or that habit. And if I don't feel better, then I need to go back to looking for answers. The important thing that I need to highlight about this is it's important to commit to something and actually stick with it for a period of time. The people that I have seen that have had the fastest, most holistic recovery from their anxiety, OCD, or trauma is that they commit to one singular process. They follow that advice. They dedicate themselves to it every single day, repetitively, without abandoning it too early, so that they can actually get the full benefit and actually get a full understanding of whether the thing they're doing is actually working. Most people do not give it a long enough time to start to see the recovery benefits. You didn't get the way that you are overnight, so the change isn't always going to be overnight either. This is a process. It doesn't have to take forever. There does need to be some patience from you. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to like this video down below, and as always, I'll see you next time.